Hi, my name's Sarah. I'm 20 years old and I'm from Boston and I stutter. I thought first I would tell you a little bit about me and stuttering. So I started stuttering, I think it was like 3 or 4. And at first I went to speech therapy through like my doctor's office. But at some point I switched to school speech therapy, like right before I went to kindergarten. And so I was in school speech therapy from then until like 6th grade, but it really wasn't something that was really helpful. But my mom and I didn't know, like we didn't know what was good speech therapy and what wasn't. So I just stopped doing it because I was sick of being like pulled out of class and all that kind of stuff. And then when I was in the 8th grade, one of my English teachers actually mentioned something to my mom because he noticed that I was stuttering a lot. So then I ended up going back to therapy and I met this amazing speech therapist, Kristen, who like was pretty much like my speech therapist and friend, and I loved her. And like for a while we worked on like all the techniques and like pull-outs and like easy onsets and like whatever you call these things, so that now like I don't remember the names of except for these right now, and like bouncing and all these silly things. So so we worked on all the techniques and stuff, but then at some point it became more about just like realizing that stuttering was okay and being like, well, I'm Sarah and I stutter and that's okay. And so Kristen introduced me to the idea of advertising, and so advertising is when you basically just advertise and tell people that you stutter. So like when I started the video and I said, hi, my name's Sarah and I stutter, that was advertising. So speech therapy with Kristen became more about just like owning stuttering and being like, this is me and I'm okay with it, and starting advertising. And I remember the first time that I advertised, I was at gym class in maybe 8th or 9th grade, and I was walking around with 2 of my friends because it was a Friday, so we could walk around and not have to play some silly sport. And so I was walking around and I was like, so I know this is really silly, but for speech therapy I have to tell you that I stutter. I know you know, but I have to tell you, so I stutter. And I thought it was so ridiculous then, but somehow it became like this like fever inside of me because now I advertise like every chance I get. So anyways, so with Kristen I just sort of realized that like advertising was like the way to go, and I realized that like stuttering wasn't worth like not accepting, it was worth just making part of me. So actually, like sort of in conjunction with that, around the time that I met Kristen, I also found the NSA, which was about 5 years ago now. And I found the website. I don't know if Kristen found it or if I found it first, but I looked at the website and I was like, wow, this seems so cool. Like I want to do this. So I read about the conference and I was like, I have to go. I have to go. I was 16. I have to go. And at first I didn't want to bring my mom. She always brings this up. She's like, and Sarah didn't want to bring me to her first conference, but now I come every time. She tells the story. She's told it like 5 times already this year. And so I went to my first conference, and I didn't know what to expect because I've only ever met a few people who've studied before. But it was just like kind of mind-blowing. I feel like whenever you come to your first conference, I feel like you don't know what to expect, but then it's awesome. I mean, hopefully it is. And I went to the team workshops, and I made some fantastic friends. And like most people that I met, like I'm like one girl, Chloe, that I know, I've been best friends with in the NSA since, and I'm just so thankful that each year I come back and I see her, and like it just feels like no time has passed. And like when I first saw her this year, like we just hung out for like 2 hours and just like caught up, and it didn't feel weird, it didn't feel awkward, it's just like normal. So I love that like when you're here, you like make these friends who you can go to and talk to, and like when I'm having a bad speech day or when like something really crummy happens and I'm pretty miserable and I'm like crying in my car, that happens, I just will like, okay, maybe I texted Chloe because I didn't really want to have like an intense conversation right then, but I texted Chloe and I was just like, you won't believe what just happened in my story, because that's what friends are for. So when you come to the conference, it's amazing because there's like 600 people here, and maybe they don't all stutter, but if they don't all stutter, then they love someone, or at least are trying to love someone who stutters. And it's just like mind-blowing, and it's just like for this one time you can just like let your guard down, it doesn't even matter. And yeah, so the conference is just like this mind-blowing thing. And so I've done a lot of the team workshop stuff, and this year I've done a lot of like mentoring, and I'm on the teen advisory council, and so, or committee, that was really silly. Oh no, it is council, never mind, I'm sorry. Well, no one's perfect. So I'm on the teen advisory council, and so like I helped with a lot of the teen workshops. And this year one of the things that I really liked doing was I ran this workshop for kids that was basically, it was called NSA Kids Camp. And it was yesterday, Friday, and basically from 8:30 in the morning until 12, I had all the, like, I don't know how many kids, like 20 or 30 kids there were, and it was basically like camp, because I work in a summer camp. So we just did like different camp stuff. We made s'mores, we made friendship bracelets, we played tons of games, sang some songs, and it was just great. And I love getting to work with the kids, because it's so interesting hearing their stories, because for some reason I don't really remember a lot about stuttering from when I was little, and I don't know if like something bad happened and I'm blocking it out, or if I was just like oblivious. I think I was probably oblivious, who knows. But so getting to hear them talk and just like see how they feel is really cool, which is perfect because I'm actually in college now. I'm going to my senior year of college, and I'm majoring in elementary education and American Studies, so I'm going to be a teacher. And I just finished student teaching in a 4th grade class, and it was like the most amazing experience. I couldn't have had a better placement. Like my kids, my teacher, everything. And I actually ended up advertising to my kids at one point. I didn't do it at first because basically when I'm at school, I feel like I'm there to be their teacher. Like I don't need to tell them, and I'm comfortable enough that I don't always need to bring it up. But I noticed that I was stuttering a lot when I do like whole class lessons. And so I advertised to them, and the kids were really good. And like my teacher told me that like after the first time that I like really stuttered and they noticed, she heard a couple of them talking, and they were like, "Oh, Sarah stutters. It's like that character in the book we read." And so as and afterwards, it was just really great to see how like the kids were so open about it. And like one day I was talking to this girl, Amy, we were just eating lunch. We're both vegetarians, so we'd eat lunch together because she doesn't like sitting with meat. Well, people who are eating meat. And she was like, "Sarah, so what does it feel like to stutter?" And I don't know what I told her, but hopefully it was a good enough response. But I mean, maybe it's helpful for anyone else listening. So I'll answer it. Maybe someday Emma will watch this video. But so I told her something about how basically sometimes it feels really tense. It just feels like you're just like pushing and it just like won't come out. And sometimes it's just like a little quick thing, and sometimes it's just like little, and it's like things just repeat. But it's annoying. It's pretty annoying. And I mean, it's good. Like I'm pretty okay with it now, and like I don't mind. But it's still, if I'm in some like incredible block, it's annoying. And I hate when I'm stuttering so much. Like when I do one of those whole class lessons, and I was stuttering so much. By the end of it, I was so tired because I'm just like pushing and like trying to use these strategies and techniques and all that, but pushing. So that's pretty much my little like tidbit, I guess. So I hope this is interesting and helpful. So thank you for listening, and I think it's definitely worth checking out the conference.